Okay, we're coming to the entrance to the property, and this portion of the property, there's 120 acres of farmable land where we will grow some crops to feed the deer and maybe do some other things, but this is a well-maintained farming property. You, Now you can't see this too well, but there's a row of telephone poles here, and at the very end is where one of the wells are, and there's a separate meter head for each well. There's a row of poles that go the other way to feed the other well behind me. Another shot of the 120 acres of farmable property above, and this is a row of old cedar trees that was planted quite a long time ago. This is looking down over the edge into the Spotted Bear Creek. Really, really pretty property. We spent a few minutes up here at the top just talking about where things were laid out, but that's basically looking towards the east side of the property, and we'll be driving down in just a moment. Now, if you look real carefully here, you'll see a fence line here at the bottom. On the left-hand side is the neighbor's property, and to the right, and all on the hills there to the right, that is all the property that we have bought. It's a portion of it, including where we're standing across the valley. Okay, we're going to look down in the bottom. There's a natural spring that comes out in this particular draw that feeds down into the Spotted Bear Creek. Very interesting. These are really deep draws, and we did see some deer here as we went through the property, so you'll see some of those periodically. Okay, here we started our drive down into the Spotted Bear Creek bottom. Um, and we're looking now back across to where we were standing earlier, looking across the valley. Now, right here, I spotted some deer running across, but I couldn't get them in the viewfinder. I was having a hard time with the truck jumping around, but we did see some deer here at this point. Now, this is a fairly narrow road going down here. So you're going to need a little bit of work, but I don't know that I'm going to make much improvements to the roads because most of this we're going to be driving with four-wheelers, trying to minimize the impact and keep all this area as a kind of a sanctuary for the deer. One area where the road gets really narrow, and actually he's cut a road around the other side of this hill to our right because the rivers, since this is soft soil, they tend to find their own way through and erode the banks away. So this road, after a few more years, is probably going to be impassable, and we'll come around the other side to the right. Some of Dana's cattle, he's got about 100 head in here, and this morning we were actually down there giving them some dried cake and hay and busting up the water in the water trough. So this is what his operation is right now, and we'll probably continue to do that for the next 3 years or so. Now that's looking back at the road where we just came down where we were shooting film earlier. Some more of Dana's cattle. and the fence line. And that is Martin Jurish, the realtor. Now this is what has to get done with the cattle troughs daily when there's freezing weather. The ice needs to be broken out of the filler and also around the tire so that the cows can actually drink the water. It actually froze up again before we had left about 2 hours later. Here's a group of does that we spotted. Now they're quite a ways off, but these are actually on the property. This is a pretty large tract of land, so they are on the property.
And it took him months to get there. And he let Jim Bridger live. He was going to kill him. But he crawled all the way from Hardin County all the way.
So as we pan around here, this is one of the high points of the property, right on the fence line. And where we're looking right now is within the property boundaries, back where we came from in Spotted Bear Creek. Now as we pan around the other way here, we're going to be looking to the east of the property, and the property extends out about a half a mile beyond the red pickup truck towards the Cheyenne River Basin. Now this is a shot of the road. We couldn't go down this road today where it goes off to if you look way to the left, well, we kind of panned off of it, but we're looking in the Cheyenne River Basin right now. There, to the right is right at the Cheyenne River Basin is where the corner of the property is on the west side. And all this green stuff in here is pretty much part of the property, up to the point where you can see the river disappear.
Right. Yeah. Because that's something that he's looking at, it's ongoing. Because I don't think, like he said, he's not a farmer. Right.
Now we did see some more deer here on this end of the property, and actually a fairly decent buck. So here we go, the 3 does.
There goes some deer right there.
And we'll see a nice looking buck here in just a minute.
Coming into here, they always do. I tell you what.
They're coming off in on that rascal, Victor.
He's 26 wide or 25.
He's beyond his years.
He's one of them a year or two away. He'll be a heck of a nice deer.
Yeah.
And there's...
Now we're driving back on the road, heading out of the property.
We might, when we go back, take a look around that old farm.
Yeah.
That's one.
And this is the view from one potential lodge site. I'm not sure that this is what we'll use, but we got a couple others that we looked at. I think one I actually mentioned, but this is one spot.
There are some nice bucks.
I bet that's that 3x2 that's an oddball.
So this is the last group of deer we saw. And all the deer that we saw today on film were what were on the property. So there are some deer there. They're going to need some habitat enhancements to help them along, but they seem to be doing well as it is.